Hey guys, and welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we're going to be jumping back into some more FTB Skies and setting up, well, this supercritical phase shifter that you see behind me. And then we're going to be making ourselves super duper strong by the end of the video. Hopefully you guys are ready. So starting off today, we're going to be getting into the SPS and getting ourselves some antimatter produced, or try to get it produced over time. But something cool kind of happened. Right when I started, I had a bee drop these items right here. I'm pretty stoked because it just randomly dropped a dice of fate, and that gave me the key of King's Law, which is a really cool item. If you've never seen this before, if you've never been in Britannia, played around with Britannia, this is what this does. So the best way to demonstrate is to hold it down, yes, and then let go, and it shoots everything and explodes. It is pretty darn wicked. And yeah, you can just use this flying around. This thing is so cool. But the fact that we got a relic and we got an apotheosis boss spawner is kind of cool. Apparently it's a 2.5% chance of showing up inside of a village armorer, but I mean, we just got it from a bee. So thank you, bees, for that. We'll definitely play around with this later on. I got to make sure that I'm strong enough for this. So now you may notice inside my inventory, I have some things set up. Technically, we only need 60 SPS casings, which I got all crafted up. We have plenty of pellets. So let's see, pellets. Plenty of pellets. Like, I had over 500 polonium pellets, and plutonium pellets we had over 500 as well. Actually, I stopped producing plutonium pellets because we had way more than we'll ever need. And actually, I have my reactor turned off. So this thing was actually producing quite a bit while we were working on other projects, such as what happened last episode. So we need to build this thing and get, now that we have all of these extra components, we don't really need to produce polonium or plutonium anymore. So instead, what we need to do is we need to take that waste that this reactor generates, and we then need to, we'll pipe it underground, and we're going to pipe it into an SPS, or as known as a supercritical phase shifter. Yes, it's a super fancy name, and well, this is a super fancy machine and is very expensive because it costs quite a bit of fissile fuel and waste that has to be processed in order for this to actually work, or for you to even be able to craft it. So let me go ahead and get this thing built up. It's a rather simple structure to build. Now, if you are struggling with how to actually build this thing, I'm going to sort of demonstrate this in the best way possible here. This is the shape that you're going to be using, and also you're going to be using reactor glass inside the middle section, just like so. But the interesting part is all on the sides, it's going to be the same shape, but starting here. So you are going to have to place and break some blocks, like have some blocks in place. But it's going to be 3 like this. So if I break this one, we'll be able to see that it is the exact same size. And then of course we're going to need this placed in 1, 2, 3. Same on this. Another one, 1, 2, 3. And then a corner block placed in there as well. And then we just have to break these outer edges. And you'll see it's the exact same as what we just had. Actually, I think I just broke the wrong piece. There, and then there. Putting all the pieces in all the wrong places. That's pretty normal for me, though. And there we go. So, as you can see, it's exactly the same as this. And it's going to go on all sides, including the top. And that's basically the shape of the SPS. Now, with all the glass in, technically it is complete, and it will give a redstone sort of effect on it, but it's not complete because we actually need reactor ports to get things into this. So I'm actually going to put the different sides. I'm going to put, actually, you know what? We could actually put them on all the sides, but I think what I want is I want to insert the fluid from the back, and I think from the top, I actually want to access, I want to send the power from the top And that means on one of these sides is going to be where we actually process the fluids. I think that'll be fine. So all we need is 3 ports, really. We need a port up here. That's going to be our power. And I think these can be configured. You can see we have an input and output. Everything's going to be an input except for this one side. And then the power output needs a supercharged coil. So that needs to go right there where we're going to be providing the power. I'm going to show you how we're going to provide the power here in a minute. And that's where all of that power that we're generating, that 25 million, is really going to come into play. Now, for the SPS ports, let's see. This one is going to go here, and one is going to go in the back right here. So you really don't need all the sides filled. You don't need it for power unless you're going to be providing the 400 million that I believe it can accept. I think you might need it unless it's 400 million per SPS port. I don't really remember. But once I have that done, you can see it is now accepted. And we need this to be where our antimatter will be outputted. That's what we're generating here with this. So almost everything's ready to go. Now we do want a point. And I don't know if I want to put this on a subnetwork. That might be a good idea, and then just provide all of our power that is coming from that 25 million to this, because we want to actually keep all of our power here that is being generated. I think that'll be a good idea. We'll just run off of these for everything else. We don't really need a whole lot of power anymore, especially since our controller is being used for our RS system. We have a creative controller. Everything else should be fine. So let's go ahead and set up a subnetwork. Now, I guess what I'm referring to when I say subnetwork is just another network. And we can call this network, let's go ahead and call it SPS. And we'll set that to public, and we'll make it red like the SPS is. Well, actually, it's sort of orange, isn't it? And so let's go ahead and create that network. So we have the SPS. We're going to set that there. And we'll just use all the power that this can generate. I think that'll be a good idea. So I do need my Flux Network configurator wand. We also want to make sure that this is set to 0 priority and make sure the limit is turned off. Bypass limit. That is good. And then we'll copy this, and we're going to paste it to every single one of these. So now just on top here, we should be able to send all of that power to this. And here soon it should catch up. And let's make sure we are on SPS. Right now it's only generating this much power, but once all of the machines kick on, then we should see a surge in power start to happen. Hopefully, anyways. Now I've got everything piped up, but I was like, oh wait, yeah, that's right. We don't actually send waste. We send what this generates here. So if we take a look at how this is actually produced, we need polonium. And polonium comes from the solar neutron activator. Now, this does process through really, really fast, so that shouldn't be a huge issue waiting for the day cycles to happen. But we do want the buffer to sort of fill up. So I might add a little bit more pipe to this to get this to go. But what I'm going to really have to do is we're going to have to get this moved. So at the moment, there's a little bit in here. This is all radioactive, and this is also radioactive. And I don't have a way of getting rid of this stuff without having an exact amount go in here, which is kind of unfortunate. I could try to potentially like turn this on for a moment and get just enough, but there's not a good way of doing it. Oh man, this is not good. Because I don't have a whole lot of room. Do not have a whole lot of room. I could potentially, so this is going in here. I could potentially pipe the rest, but I can't pipe it out of this machine. Oh man, I can go real fast, it looks like. Oh man, that's too much. Dang, and I missed my mark. If I break this, it'll send the whole area and make it radioactive. I don't want to do that. So instead of moving everything and risking catastrophic failure, well, we don't really need these much anymore anyways, so I'm going to round it this way. And if I ever need it, well, we won't be able to use this particular solar neutron activator. I can't even get the nuclear waste out of it properly. So I guess I would have to pump it into this and hope and go back and forth. It becomes really monotonous. But as of right now, we should be able to turn this on. I have my filter set up, and this should now send the appropriate stuff to this SPS. So we turn it on and activate it. We see the waste is building up. I left some pipes. So you see multiple pipes here. I'm using them more or less as storage. These pipes are going to be a very large storage for holding all the nuclear waste when it's nighttime. And when it's daytime, well, this should be able to process all of that waste incredibly fast, sending it all through that pipe, which is also a large storage, and going into the reactor. So we shouldn't have a problem there. And burning it, we should be able to get through it fast enough. And there we go. As we can see, we are now converting this into antimatter. We already have a couple of millibuckets of antimatter, and it should have ramped up, and I believe we are now sending it 25 million, as you can see right there. 25 million and a bit. And this is producing at a very slow rate. Like I said, 400 million is like the peak, like where it should be to get a good transfer rate. But it doesn't matter because we're not going to be able to send it enough polonium anyways. Now, so long as we have everything automated and everything stays working, this system should stay up and running and shouldn't have any problems. Now, even if we did have problems, and let's say we have things like, for example, the waste backup in here. Well, even if the waste did back up, this would actually set off the alarm and would shut the reactor off until the waste was used up. So this is still very, very safe and should stay self-sufficient so long as our power stays up and running. Now, as far as getting an antimatter, well, that's just going to take some time. Antimatter right here. To get the actual pellet, we are going to need 1,000 millibuckets of it. So basically one full bucket worth of antimatter, and then that will go into a chemical crystallizer. So as soon as we put it in the chemical crystallizer, it will then produce an antimatter pellet. And that's just as simple as piping the antimatter out of that output slot and having it go into this machine to convert it. Pretty straightforward. Like it's that simple. It's just going to be a matter of waiting, but we have other things to work on while our SPS is currently working. So with all of that producing, let's take a look at our overpowered quest. So down here, of course, there's a lot of things, and well, we get some interesting, useful, creative items, but the ultimate goal, of course, is to get to the end. Now, there's some things that are going to take a little bit of doing, of course, to get things done. One of them is the Gaia fight. We need to fight the Gaia a few times, and of course, the best way is to fight the top tier Gaia, because we're also going to need the fruit of Goretia. This is an apple that is basically unlimited food, which we already technically have unlimited food in multiple ways in this pack, but this is actually a relic. And so might as well, you know, kill two birds with one stone, right? And to do that, we're going to need to boost our defenses. Our offenses are pretty good. I'm going to, of course, try to boost that as well, but our defenses are pretty lame. We can still easily die. Now, to fix that, I think what we can do is make this thing, the personal integrity filled projector from the Techno Baubles mod. I haven't touched on the Techno Baubles mod too much, but this mod is insanely powerful from the looks of it. So let's go ahead and get ourselves this crafted up and get all of the little components that this mod uses crafted up. It's actually not too bad. All of the recipes seem pretty straightforward, and we could have made this stuff a lot earlier on. So to make this, let's go ahead and request the core. Now, it says right here on the wiki that this will protect you from damage, but cost power to do so. If that's the case, this thing could be a game changer for the Gaia fight. Now, it goes in your belt slot and is going to, of course, charge up with 5 million power. And, well, what is a good way to test getting damaged? I don't actually have a good answer to that. You know, this actually might be a good test of that. So we have our base arrow velocity. This is a pretty nice bow. Actually, I don't know if I want to use this bow. Let's do another bow. I'm sure I have another one lined up in here. Let's see. I have this one. This is the one we actually used to kill the dragon. So, can I step in? Oh, wow. That took that arrow way off course. Let's try shooting in here. I can actually see where the arrow sort of goes. And we should be able to stand in front of it. Nice. I took 0 damage from that. I do have glowing now, but I didn't take any hearts. Well, it's still ain't a good way to test. Either way, I want to also use Terra Still to fight the Gaia, and I think it's only fair. It's not anything crazy or overpowered or anything like that, but we're gonna make it overpowered. We're gonna set up this gear and try to get crazy protection. Look at that. We're already racking up, it looks like protection 5. So if as much protection as we can get, I think the better. Now, while enchanting, a couple of things you probably want to avoid as far as enchants go is definitely rebounding. Rebounding, in my opinion, is a negative effect. It is not positive. It is really rough with bosses because things that hit you get teleported away from you. And that could be good in a survival situation, but not when you're trying to attack a boss. That just sounds like not a good day. Now, instead of me wasting these enchants that I'm putting on these things, it's probably better to actually just wipe the enchants by putting the gear in here and letting it actually rip off the enchants. For example, that protection 5, we want that protection. So we can just rip it off and we'll get the books over here and we can just dump it inside of our enchantment library for later use. Other things I definitely don't want on this gear is magnet. Magnet is not something I want. I have a magnet I can turn on and off. This one, on the other hand, it just becomes a mess in my base. Now, overall, this gear is actually pretty good. So we now have block reach on this piece, aqua affinity, protection, multi-jump, which is pretty cool. This also has multi-jump as well, with mana regen, steady body. I'm not really worried about the mana on this gear, but it all has protection 5. This is more block reach. Traveler's really cool. It prevents us from like random dangers, like elytra damage and things like that. Like kinetic damage and things, ender pearls. And then this has more protection with more multi-jump. I don't know how much multi-jump one can have, and or if the multi-jumps actually stack. It doesn't even, I don't even think multi-jump works with creative flight, because if you have creative flight, you can't time your jump. Yeah, the multi-jump does not work with creative flight. So I don't even have to worry about that in Enchant. But I think overall, these enchants are incredibly powerful on their own, but we can actually upgrade our gear even further than this. So what I need to do is actually use a reforging table from Apotheosis. And we've already made some of these arcane sands and some of the other materials. We're also going to be needing to make some in the future as well. But for this, all we have to do is put this in here and then put a piece of gear inside. And we can see that we can now choose a couple of different things. What I'm looking for is sockets, and I can actually go through and look at different gear. And I can kind of get an idea of empty sockets. This has 3 sockets open. It also tells us what it does up here. It says, when attacked, gain instant health. So if I hit Control O, I can, well, I guess that really doesn't help. We can kind of close down JEI, but I still have those markers. But it says, when attacked, gain instant health too. And it has a cooldown of 10 seconds. And then physical damage taken is reduced by 11%. We also have 3 sockets. And also this gear will ignore 35% of its durability. That's pretty good. And it's going to consume 2 arcane sands for this, and it's also going to cost some gem dust as well. So when I activate this, you can see it just consumed the arcane sands. Actually, it only consumed 1, didn't it? Or no, I had 2. It used 2. And there we go. And so now this is now reforged, which is pretty crazy. This is going to have 3 sockets. Unfortunately, I cannot scroll to see what it's actually going to be generating without changing UI size. So this one is also very good. Physical damage taken is reduced by 7%. And then when attacked, gain resistance for 3 seconds. And then you also have 3 sockets as well. And this item ignores 24% of durability damage. We're going to talk about sockets here in a second. That was a really good one. This is going to have 2. This will reduce fire damage. Magic damage is going to be reduced. Let's see. We get 3 sockets on this. Explosive damage taken is reduced, magic damage, and we get 3 sockets, and of course durability. I think that's good on that one, and give me something good on this one. 2 sockets, fire damage. I guess they're all the same, and I will take that. So we have all of our gear nice and reforged. Now the cool part is we can use these gems, and if we search gems, we can now see all of the different types of gems and what they do and where they can be socketed on. And so these are going to be what you use to socket, and it's going to take up those socket space. And it's going to give you the benefit that's associated with the particular armor that you have. So looking through all of these, of course, some of them are specific to weapons and things like that and not actually armor. But I was looking and these seem really good. So it says right here, anything, it basically fits in anything, and it's +1 to all existing enchants. So it's going to raise our enchants +1 for all of the gear. And we can definitely use that for many different things. Block reach, I don't know if block reach has a bump, but protection, moving into protection 6 would be insane. And then all of these are health related. So this is going to, on the core armor, give us bonus health. So are these brawlers gems. These are going to give us base, this is going to give us extra health. On heavy weapons, it would give us base overheal. And then these right here are really cool. These are going to reduce overall physical damage taken. And I mean, we almost have enough between all of these. If this one was a little higher, that would be almost 100% physical damage reduced, which would be, that'd be really crazy. Now to socket these in, you need a smithing table to do this. And you can see it is going to take up that slot. And then it tells you right here, this will be +7% total attack damage, which is interesting. So I don't know what core is supposed to be representing. Let's see. This says heavy weapons, 7%. So is it, so when socketed in, but it's giving me 7% total attack damage. I'll take it. Oh, that's specifically for helmets. So if I put this in anything else, if something else specifically stated helmets, which I don't think it does, but actually that's nice. Like a percentage boost to attack damage is really, really high. And so do I have anything higher? That's really good right there. 26% total attack damage boost. Yes, please. So it does look like specific to pieces of gear, we actually have to keep that in mind as well. So an easy way to search for specific things like this is to go about it like that. So I'm gonna have to kind of go about this in an interesting way. I've got to use things on boots that are specific to boots and specific to helmets and so on and so forth. Now looking at everything that could go into boots, I would spec into the speed, but I don't really want to go any faster than I'm already going. So on the boots, I'm going to have to skip on all socketed gems because there's nothing that can really benefit me except for maybe socketing in the jewels that are the gems that are going to give us a +1 in our enchants. Now for my chest piece, I'm going to go with the brawlers gems. I think I can go with 2 of them. And then I will go with this gem right here to boost my armor toughness. And that seems pretty nice. Now on the leggings, I'm going to try this out. I don't really know what the luck stat means other than luck in fishing. Because I know that was a stat. And then I'm going to put more of the toughness on here. Oh, that's, can we not do multiple toughnesses? Ooh, so I guess that actually leaves us with the gems that we can use on anything, right? These. So I guess I'm going to put the rest of those on this. And I don't know if we can put multiple on the same piece of gear. So we can try that out with the boots. Can I put this on there? So no, I cannot. But I can get that +1 on all of my other pieces. So we have this +1 on all existing enchants. And then I'm just going to leave my boots. There's nothing else I can put on the boots that are, in my opinion, worth it. Now, as far as a weapon goes, I still think this weapon is one of the best weapons in the pack. And that is the Power of Friendship, or at least is what it's called here. And that is from the Bobbly Heart Canisters mod. And what we can do is we can insert the heart canisters in their stages into this sword and socket them in, And, well, I think we'll have a really powerful sword. I think this thing goes up to like 40 base damage. Not only, we should be able to also reforge this weapon. And to make the hearts, it's actually been made really easy. So we can actually, if we want to get up to the top tier hearts, all we have to do is melt down our base hearts into these melted hearts. And then we can go ahead and actually combine them together like this in just a crafting recipe. And we can then take this heart and we should be able to turn it into a regular heart. That's pretty cool. So all I have to do for these is place them all in here. These are all the smelting recipes. And then these are all the crafting recipes. Now I think on the canisters, as far as they go, I think we can request 10. And so we should do 10 of the blue to get started. And that's not going to happen for a while. Now the red ones we can probably do. So I can get 10 of those crafted up. Might be able to do 10 yellow ones. I don't know about the green. That's probably going to cost too much. But we can go ahead and just see. When we put these in, the damage has already gone up to 28 attack damage. And I was even able to make the yellow heart containers. So what is it at now? 48. Oh boy, this thing is just with this alone is great. I don't think I can make the green ones. So yeah, I'm gonna actually Godforge, reforge this thing to the max tier using 6 of these to do this. But slain enemies have a 4.5 chance to be a loot pinata? That sounds ridiculous. And then also we have attacks deal 9 damage to nearby enemies, which is like an AoE plus beast. It boosts our attack damage. Like we have 52 attack damage on this thing. That is fantastic. We may get less sockets, but I'm fine with that. So I think the sockets for this bad boy are going to be attack damage and attack speed. This is going to give us a 20% base attack speed, which is a lot nicer than what we currently have. Now, for some reason, I can't directly enchant this thing, but this just rolled Vorpal. I'm going to be enchanting these golden swords to try my best to get a bunch of sword enchants. That way I could pick and choose what I actually want, build an awesome book, and use that, oh boy, to apply to this. Because I can apply the enchants at least. I mean, honestly, this right here is enough. This book alone, Vorpal 5, is more than enough. Of course, hit that with some sharpness as well. I don't even think we have to worry about unbreaking. Experience boost. I'm going to see what else I can put on here. I may have gone a little bit overboard. This is going to cost 75 levels. I got it. And we can't even see everything on this. But it does have the ability to teleport. Even though with this one, I guess that's kind of not a useful thing because it does open up the menu. But either way, it has looting, like capturing. We have a chance of getting spawn eggs from killing mobs. Beheading, we'll get all kinds of loot from that. Frost aspect, which will slow down enemies. All this stuff. And it's going to weaken them. This is like a deadly sword. Vorpal, we might even be able to phase. Who knows? We might be able to phase 2-phase or 1-phase the Gaia Guardian. So now with this, we should be able to annihilate. Let's do this. Oh boy. This is going to be nice. We should be able to kill this guy pretty quickly. Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting we have to actually disable shaders to be able to see this guy. But look how much damage we're doing. And if a Vorpal procs, that's where it overrides the mechanic of this boss. And we could potentially do that if we get lucky with a crit. And as you can see, there's not much health left. So unfortunately, we didn't get past that 1-phase, but yeah, that Vorpal can do some damage. So if you remember before, this was doing damage to us. This absolutely does 0 damage now to us. We're basically unbeatable. I mean, and then I don't know if we get extra loot from this, but we did get another Dice of Fate. We got some witch heads. We even got a zombie spawn egg, and we got a bunch of Gaia spirits, which is what we're trying to get. And these you can attach to your helmet. So crit hits apply slowness. We're already applying slowness, and we already have one on our head anyways. But yeah, That is pretty powerful. And there's the apple we needed. So with all that, I would say we are one bad mamma jamma with all this gear on, and we can even expand our hearts even further than this. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you did and you learned something new, be sure to click that subscribe button and give this video a huge thumbs up. Also comment down below, what is your favorite weapon in this mod pack? And of course, I would love to hear from you down in the comments below. And with all that being said, it is time to thank the supporter of today's video. And that huge thanks is going to go out to Amanda Rose over on YouTube, becoming a YouTube member and supporting me. I do appreciate you guys very, very much. I appreciate all of my supporters. And of course, you guys as viewers as well. I do appreciate you more than anything else. Guys, if you did enjoy, be sure to check out the Discord. And check out the YouTube members if you're interested in supporting in any way possible. There's multiple ways to support if that's something you're looking to do. But guys, of course, I will see you in the next episode. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. I keep telling you, dude, it's not gonna work. It's just not. You might as well just stop trying. I'm invincible.